As-Salaamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On to the next part of this dynamic warm-up for prayer and for life in general. It's a very good warm-up. Even if you can't get a workout in, do a couple circuits of this. That's going to get your heart rate going. It's going to get some lymph flowing, get some body detoxification going on as well. Get you to sweat a little bit too. So the next one's going to be, we're going to call them walkouts. You're going to start in the almost, again, you need hamstring flexibility for this. Knees are not entirely locked out, just slightly less than locked out, okay? To be succinct or to be clear, locked out means your knees are all the way back and the legs are stuck in extension, like your elbows completely at its end range of motion. You don't want that, just slightly less than that, okay? Heels flat on the ground, feet flat on the ground. Don't lean out like this as well. Feet planted flat. You're going to round your low back, and yes, that's healthy. Yes, that's normal. As a spine expert, I'm telling you it's okay to round your low back, okay? You want to get down as far as you can. Again, I have a lot of flexibility, so I am able to do this. If you're not, let's say you have to start all the way out here to keep your feet straight, not completely locked out, but just about. And this is where you have to start so that your feet are straight. That's fine. You'll notice you'll also have a nice stretch in your calf. I'm going to walk my hands back though, since I can get all the way here and even further, but I'll just start here. And you're going to slowly, again, this is not for speed. The slower you do this, I can promise you the more benefit you're going to get out of this. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm going to go on the knees now, just to give you an example of how you can modify this. I also have socks on, so my feet are going to slip backwards a lot. You do not want socks on necessarily for this. You want to be able to walk out and control the abs here. Then you're going to walk back like this. Again, I only went on the knees to give an example. I'm going to do that again, the walk out. Nice and slow. My abs are tight. As far as you can go. And then slowly walk the hands back up, feet flat, walk all the way back in. Again, if I had no socks on, I would walk out a little bit further. And really, for the purpose of the camera, I'm walking back like this. However, a normal circuit of this would be walking all the way out. And then as I walk out, I walk back up. Really small steps here too. Like this, and then I'd walk back out. And you'd go up, let's say you're at the gym, or you're at the house, or you're gonna walk out a couple feet, then walk back a couple feet. Walk out, walk back, and you're gonna do a couple circuits of that. This is just a warm up, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is kind of like a yoga stretch. You've heard of cat-cow. You're gonna get in the quadruped stance, which means 4 positions are going to be touching, or 4 points are going to touch the wrists and then the knees down here. And I like to arch my low back, okay? A nice bend, butt kind of up, okay? And then from here, you're going to lift your leg out like this and then back down and then go in a circle. Just a couple circles, and they go out and down. Couple circles, out and down, and then other leg, out, down, some circles, out and down, some circles, and then ultimately you're going to do that a couple times on each side, and then you're going to reverse the circles, go whatever the opposite direction is, and then out, okay, all the way down. And try to keep your spine neutral, facing this way, while you lift out. You can rotate, or try not to rotate the hips realistically. You don't want to go like that, okay? You want to just keep your hips straight so that you can really get the mobility from the hip joint and not by not by rotating your spine, okay? And then another one is going to be pretty similar to the first thing I showed you guys, where when you take the lunge forward and you can put the one knee down, the opposite arm, opposite leg are going to touch. So right leg, left arm, and then I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then from here, you're going to see me shaking. Now this is the trick to using your breath work, the breath work here. You're going to keep your stomach against your knee so that when you breathe in, the air gets stuck against the leg and kind of pushes back into your spine, which expands the room in your spine, okay? So I'm going to turn as far as I can, okay? Now you'll see me shaking in a second. I'm going to take a deep breath into my leg. And as you notice, as I breathe out, I get even more range. I'm going to do that again. Keep my stomach close to my leg, breathe in. And if you were listening closely, you could actually hear one of my ligaments cavitate a little bit. I was actually within the hip joint. And when I did that, I was actually able to get more mobility. Now that's forcing the range into that hip joint, hip capsule, and into the lower spine, depending on where you target and how you breathe. Won't get into those details now. That's a very good warm-up as well to throw into the mix. Okay, these are all basic general warm-ups you can do without any equipment. Now, what I would love to show you is the next one, but it requires an exercise ball. Okay, I'll show you that in just a second. Another good warm-up is sitting butt on your heels, okay, heels out, toes in, and you're just going to rock back and forth. Try to keep your butt on your ankle. Left, right. Now I'm on a hardwood floor, and this is slightly painful. You can hear the bones kind of rolling against the floor, but that's okay. Over time, this gets less and less painful as those joints regain mobility. And you notice I'm also bending at the spine. I'm getting a really good stretch in my low back. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a couple more things. So this one's nice and slow and controlled again. You can lean back a little more, lean forward a little more while you're leaning to the side. Back, forward, getting a really good stretch in my low back and in my ankle. Now the last two will be for if you have a wobble disc. I'll show you with a wobble disc. And then if you had a big physio ball, you would take that ball, you would get back in the quadruped stance. And then from there, you would take the ball here and you would start with it here. You'd roll out on the ball, forward, and then you'd roll back. And then all the way out. And then once you're out here, you keep one arm on the ball, and then the other arm would go underneath, like this. Try and keep your hips square to the ground so your hips don't rotate like this, okay? But you let your body do the rotation here, okay? And then you would come up with your hand on the other side, and then you put the other hand underneath with the ball, and you'd rotate side to side with the ball. Since I don't have a ball, I can't really show you that. I'm going to grab a wobble disc, and I'll show you in just a second what to do with the wobble disc if you have one. They're very cheap and inexpensive.